really, I think to start off with, we had the testing in Spain last week. It's all right for some. And well, the first day arrived, and then the second day arrived, and people thought, hang on a minute, there's a 10th team in there. Yeah. Where are they? Williams, they missed the first 2 test days. Well, 2.5 days, pretty much. And they were able to do the 1.5, and it was quite nice to actually see George Russell drive a Williams car. That's working. But we'll see how they do in the season. But, Kyle, what's going on with Williams? Because last season was a dreadful season, but now, in terms of preparations, they're doing really badly. What is going on?
I think it's just it's true to form of Williams. You know, they've got to always be massively behind from everyone else. So, if we looked at them last year, I think when Lance Stroll was driving them, we picked him up on the radio a few times, just flat out saying, what's even the point? Like, what are we even doing here? They're getting lapped by everyone, but then at the same time, if you want to do better, obviously Stroll's not there anymore, you know, because some people's daddies just love them far, far much more than the rest of ours. But Claire Williams can't even give a legitimate reason as to why. She's just saying, oh, it's very embarrassing. It's like, yes, Claire, we know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
we know this is embarrassing.
It's like the testing and then the imminent start of the season came as a surprise, which is interesting because actually it's almost pretty much the same time every year. You know, we have a couple of months off, then we start again.
It's like that's kind of how every organised sport since the beginning of organised sport has worked. So I legitimately don't get how Williams can basically, from the way they talk about it, have a shoestring and a block of cheese to fund their development program, yet Mercedes can be basically having something shot into space and put through a wind tunnel, and then, you know, the Flash is going to come and rub it down, and they get it ready. Obviously, they've got more money, but I don't get how you could honestly just turn up to testing and say it's not ready. Like,
well, all I am hoping and praying has happened is that the Kibitz money just came too late for them to get sorted, and that this season, unfortunately, is just going to have to be a season of development and working, and actually they're going to have to almost potentially sack this season off and look at next year.
Sorry.
But that's the only thing I can assume that's happened, because otherwise, you know, they knew exactly what was going to happen. They knew what the regulations were going to be, you know, and they've, you know, should be sorted. But
see, I genuinely don't usually watch tests that much because I find tests a bit boring.
Well, yeah.
Well, it's the fact you don't know what fuel they're carrying, so you can't analyse.
But I was tuning in because it's going, Robert Kubica is coming on, and it was like, and I remember I was watching it with my family, and they were going like, well, why do we care? I was going, this guy is a warrior. No, it's not. He nearly died.
It's the fact that he should
had his hand like cut off and then reattached, and then went and drove, I think, Porsches or something, and now he's back in Formula One.
It's not even that, it's the fact that he was destined to be a champion of the future, and then that one little, you know, oh yeah, just go and rally that car for a bit.
As well.
I know.
It's one of those questions of what could have happened. Like, what would have happened? What would have happened the next season if Felipe Massa hadn't have been hit in the head?
Exactly.
In Hungary?
Yeah, because he did completely change him.
He never recaptured his class
and then
after
Fernando is faster than you came along.
Fernando is faster.
Yeah.
Now we'd all be expected to just put up with that. But
Bottas will get that talk now. Like, Hamilton needs the points. Get out the way.
I think personally,
do as you're told.
Vettel,
you finish, man. Get out the way.
Vettel will get it this year. Charles is faster than you. Oh,
I've got it. Yeah, because Charles actually wants to race that thing.
He was impressive in testing.
Seb just wants. I love Vettel, but Sebastian Vettel just wants to stick it on pole
and drive
no one
to the
bug him.
How long do you think it'll be until Leclerc passes Vettel? Do you think it'll be this season or not?
I actually would like to see. I think I said to Jamie on our WhatsApp chat, I'm picking Leclerc for what he did last season when he's basically driving a bath. Like, in a Ferrari, and the Ferrari is showing real promise. It's got a stupid paint job, but it's showing real promise in terms of speed.
Bottas has said Mercedes are behind.
Oh, well, yeah. This
Yeah, but I know, yes. It's all psychological mind games.
This is what I wanted to say, though. All right. I don't know if that is the cleverest thing for Bottas to say in case they are actually behind, because the first thing I heard was Ferrari are ahead. And then Toto came out, and Toto did, he was Toto, he was Robocop. He was like, oh, well, you don't try and be the fastest in these
German
tests. It's not trying to be a German accent.
It's
Austrian, yeah.
He sounded German.
Massive xenophobe.
He sounded German.
Well, I wasn't even going to say it was meant to be Austrian. It was meant to be Robocop. But yeah, Toto came out and just said, we're not trying to be fastest. We're trying to get the car working right. The car has a lot more in it. And then Valtteri, who, if we remember, we heard last season Mercedes weren't particularly satisfied with because he wasn't keeping up with Lewis. He now comes out basically like a 5-year-old who's been told, don't say this, just comes out and goes, yeah, our car's not as fast as theirs. I just imagine Toto just there like, I will destroy you.
We're going to wrap up because we're running out of time. But Philippa, you're a big F1 fan, as you've already shown to us on the show. But do you think Williams will finish last in the Constructors?
Unfortunately, I think they probably will, just because they've obviously not shown anything so far that suggests otherwise. But it's all going to come down to reliability. If they, by chance, have a car that finishes every single race, you've got to be in it to win it.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
they could sneak through, above, I don't know, Alfa Romeo, Racing Point. Who knows? But it's all going to come down to reliability. And obviously, they're not actually getting the laps in at the minute.
And finally, who do you think is going to win? If you had to pick a driver's champion now, who do you think could win it? I know it's so early on and we don't really know much about the cars yet, but...
Oh, now I just don't think I could pick. Obviously, I'm hoping either Leclerc, which is a semi-realistic idea, or Hulkenberg.
I have this love. Hulkenberg, you love Hulkenberg.
I love Hulkenberg.
Yeah, Hulkenberg is great. I do. They said he was too tall as well.
I know.
It's the great unanswered question of what would he do if he was in a decent car?
Yeah.
Because he spent so long in a Force India.
I mean, his hair is just beautiful.
I'm going to have to say, as much as I have made it clear on this show numerous times before that I despise him, I think Hamilton's going to win it.
God, I hope not.
Unless Leclerc pulls it out brilliantly, I think Vettel will have the pace, but he will mess it up.